So there are, in addition to relationships, several different types of data composition functions that we can use in Tableau. And each one of them has a different purpose and is useful in different circumstances. So in this particular video, we're going to be talking about unions. So notice here that we have sales, not just from quarter one, but quarter two, quarter three, quarter four. And if we look through these, using, again, the data preview, we can actually see that the columns are the same in all of them. And this makes perfect sense, right? Like we have some like sales tracking process in our business unit. It's tracking order ID, it's tracking item ID, it's tracking sale date, it's tracking discount rate, and whatever in order to keep track of revenue flow. And somehow we just need to combine these things together, because really there's nothing. I mean, there are business reasons to separate quarter one from quarter two, but if we want to know like overall what books are selling and what books aren't, those quarter distinctions are completely arbitrary. We want to combine the quarters all together so we can say in this given year or over all time what books have sold, what books haven't, what authors have sold, what haven't. Is it hardcover? Is it paperback? And if we are breaking these things up into artificial distinctions, we may miss big patterns that are very important. You can imagine, like, if here it's quarters, but if we're breaking up by daily sales or weekly sales, it's even harder to see those overarching patterns because the data is sliced up so granularly. So how do we do this? Well, we have functionality in Tableau called unions. So what I'm going to do real quick is just remove this thing from the flow here, just so we can see. It's really easy to make unions. It's great. Basically what you do is you just select all of these, and I did that by holding shift and clicking the top one and clicking the bottom one. That's a general purpose paradigm in Mac and in Windows. And then I just drag them in. Notice what's happened here. So first of all, it's also saying I see an ISBN column in the addition data frame and in the sales data frame, just like we did earlier. Is this really the same? Is this relationship accurate? And the answer is yes. And notice that here we have a new symbol. This like kind of block symbol is basically saying I have quarter one as my first block, quarter two as my second block, quarter three as my third block, quarter four as my fourth block. We've blocked these things up. We've concatenated them one after another from 4 separate data sheets into one much longer data sheet with the same columns. And so in this way, we now have sales all together. And to symbolize that, let's actually rename this thing just to sales, just to kind of keep things clean. And then notice here that we still have exactly the same columns, but now we have many more rows, not just from the first quarter, but from quarters 2, quarters 3, and quarters 4. So unions, just to kind of give a conceptual framework here, a union of data sets is typically used when we have exactly the same columns, and we're just going to put those data frames one after the other. So quarter 1 comes before quarter 2, comes before quarter 3, comes before quarter 4. We just smush them all together. And in that way, we kind of combine data sources, not wide, like we're not adding columns here, we're not putting things side by side, we're actually putting things end to end and making longer data sheets instead of shorter data sheets. So this is really useful because now we all have all of this in one piece, and everything's good to go. So in other videos, we'll talk about other functionalities for adding rows or columns, but this union one is one particular and useful way to combine like data sources into one big one.